So I'm going to respond to a comment that I received a while ago. I'm not even sure if this person still watches my channel, but rereading the comment, it gave me some new insight and I thought I should share with everybody. So basically what it says is that on a high carb, low fat lifestyle, they have physical performance through the roof, energy to get all of the things done, all of the typical feelings that you feel once you finally have enough carbohydrates, and as opposed to when they were on a keto type lifestyle and they were saying that they didn't perform as well, they felt like they were dragging and it wasn't ideal for energy. And this is because there's a lot of stress on the adrenals on this type of diet, and they're probably having caffeine, and it's a high cortisol style diet because you are not having any carbohydrates, you are on a low carb diet. So this is all fake energy and it's very stressful to the body, and it's not the ideal state or environment that you would like to live in. But they said on a high carb diet, I feel brain fog or I feel tired and I don't know why. But when I'm on a keto diet, I feel sharp and mentally strong. So what I would say is that on a keto type lifestyle, you are running on adrenaline and cortisol. So this is manageable because you also have caffeine. And this is sort of this fake energy that I think would give you the mental clarity, but it's at the cost of putting your body through a lot more stress than what it actually needs. So when you are on a high carb diet, your cortisol lowers, sugar lowers cortisol. So this is why you feel this brain fog, is that your body finally feels like it's in the proper environment to now repair and restore from the inadequate eating that you were doing on a keto type lifestyle, probably not even having enough calories, and then on top of that you're not having enough carbohydrates, so your body has to go through a lot more stress to find energy through the food that you're eating on a keto or carnivore type lifestyle. Whereas when you have the carbohydrates, your body knows exactly what to do with it and how to make partitioning through the body and what organs need it. It's basically just feeding your red blood cells, and the more red blood cells you have, the healthier you are, the more blood volume you have. And most athletes are walking around with a lot more blood than the regular person because they are exercising, they're having carbohydrates. So the point is that when this person finally goes from keto to a high carb diet, now their cortisol is lowered and now their body is telling them to rest and finally have that repair that needs to get done. And I think a lot of people deny themselves the resting part, especially when you're transitioning from such a restrictive and different diet and now you're on a high carb, low fat lifestyle, sugar based. So for the first 6 months of this diet that I did back in 2023, I had sugar and I slept. So I was lucky enough to put myself in a position and take the opportunity to rest when needed, and to rest as often as I needed, and to also exert energy and walk like 20,000 steps a day and be outside most of the time. And I was very much in that zone 2 cardio, but I was eating enough so I would finally had the energy to do it, and carrying things everywhere, and it was super hot and in the middle of summer and not a lot of rain. And so yeah, I just took time whenever I needed to rest. So that's what I would say this person is going through, is that because they're going from switch to switch and they're trying to compare the diets, which is a valid endeavor, I suppose. I just think that they're not reading the signals or the signs right, and the symbols of what's coming out through their experience from their body. So everything takes time and everything has stages, and transition is not just going to be a couple months. And you're always adapting and refining your practice for your health goals, for what you want, which most people want to lose weight, be fit, be active in their life with their family, with their work, with what they need to do at home, their goals, their dreams. You need to have enough carbohydrates to do that. So I don't experience this kind of brain fog, but I do rest when I need to rest, and I'm getting to bed early because that's the best thing for my hormones and for restoration and for recovery. So prioritizing these things go hand in hand with the nutrition, with the high carb, low fat, sugar lifestyle. And what I'm noticing now being in a new environment is that I'm visiting familiar places and seeing some people that I haven't seen in quite some time. And everybody's reaction to me is sort of the same. It's like, hey, how's it going? Like, they kind of remember me, but they don't really remember me for about half a second. And then their whole face changes and they have this like, oh my gosh, where have you been? This like wave of emotion, and it's just immediate, like, it's like I'm a magnet, or like I'm so energetic, or I haven't been here in so long that it's like there's this energy around me, there's this fascination. Everyone says to me, you look really healthy. So I have to take that for face value for what it is and what's happening, and understand the difference of what I was before I left. So it would be, under 120 pounds, way under carbed, not eating enough calories, not having enough sugar, not sleeping good, having too much coffee, working too much, just a lot of things that were not in alignment with a healthy lifestyle. I went to a hot yoga class for the first time yesterday, and then I went again today. And I used to go to this studio very frequently, probably 5-6 times a week. And I was very interested to see how I would do. And I'm very surprised with how much I feel better, because I'm carbing up before class and I bring myself like a little sugar water to class, that in the event of like, okay, I just did something that was like very glucose burning and required a lot of energy and a lot of breath, that I'm going to replenish that while I'm in class. I'm not going to wait, because yoga in the hot studio is not like zone 2 training or running. So it's very different, and there's breaks and it's stretching and it's a whole other type of exercise. But I think it's beneficial, of course, to stretch and to breathe and to focus and to just like do something physically that's good for your body. It's better. It lowers your blood pressure. So at the end of class, your heart is beating quite fast because you've done a lot of movement and it's been an hour and it's very hot in there. So your heart is beating, but your blood pressure is lowered because of the exercise that you just did. So any kind of movement is really good for you, and it helps with rest and recovery as well. So transition is important. Taking rest is important. Knowing that this journey or this lifestyle can often change according to where you are, what you're doing, who you're around. But for the basic most part of it, it's sugar, water, sleep. You need to have enough of these things, otherwise you will be suffering, or you will miss something, or you won't be performing at your best. And I think the brain fog or whatever this person might have been experiencing was because they went from one place to another and required a lot more rest than just the typical, what people think is like 7 to 8 hours a night of sleep. So that's the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I will keep you updated on my daily activities. And I think I'm going to be doing a what I eat in a day video coming up the next couple days, just to see the difference between where I was and where I am now, and how labels change and things like that. And then if this is a bothersome audio, please let me know and I'll find another spot to chat. But I really like it out here, so please let me know if you guys can hear me well, or if the cars and the birds are too distracting. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.